What is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be installing some LMUTV radius rods on a Canam 72-inch, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to install them as well. Let me go ahead and show you guys. So what I got is I got the radius rod plate, I got the tow hook. It comes separate. Definitely worth it though. And then you get the radius rods in one set. And I got the machined finish, as you can see. They look super nice, super high quality, billet. Let me show you guys. All right, so the first thing you want to do is go ahead and loosen your wheels, just so the lug nuts are loose before you raise it in the air. So let's go ahead and do that on both sides. All right, guys, now that you got it jacked up, go on ahead and make sure you chuck off the front wheels and then take off the rear wheels. So taking the wheels off, I put the two front stock wheels on because the rear wheels were too big. And then we're gonna take off the stock rear plate using a 3/4. Just gonna go ahead and take off all 6 bolts. And then next we're gonna take off these bolts down here holding the radius rods to the trailing arms. But first, let's take off these 6. Guys, we got all the bolts off. Just go ahead and take it off. It comes in 2 pieces. We got the plate off, and as you can see, it comes in 2 pieces. It's not even that. Like, look how thin that piece of metal is that's holding the radius rods in place. It's pretty much like paper thin. Then you got this billet aluminum. I mean, way different. It's definitely worth the money to upgrade this. Now we got full plate off. We're gonna take off these bolts. You're gonna use an 18mm wrench, and then you have socket, or nut. You're gonna get the 18mm wrench, stick it on, right? And then you're just gonna go ahead and take off the top bolt first for the top radius rod. Took off the bolt. The radius rod just came out after I took off the bolt. What I did is I put the bolt back in since it goes through the hub. But I went ahead and took the bolt back out because since this radius rod for the LMUTV, you have to fix them on the spacing. As you can see, the bottom one you don't have to fix, but the middle one, it's only one of them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take out the next radius rod bolt, and we're gonna line it up, and I'll show you guys right now. So let's go ahead and take out the middle bolt right here. To take the middle one off, it is a little tricky because you have to keep the hub up while taking it off. And then the nut for this one is a bigger size. I'm not sure what size. I had to use the adjustable wrench. I think it's a 19mm. I only have 18mm. And then there was a washer. And then where the radius rod was, there was a washer too. So like there was a washer right here. So now that we got the bolt, we're gonna go ahead and make the very top radius rod that we first took out the same length. So we go ahead and put the bolt in, and then let's go ahead and get the other bolt, because I actually did put it back in to help me just a little bit. So let's go ahead and get this bolt and put it in this one. And then we're gonna get the radius rod and put it in. As you can see, this bolt is in, but then this one is not. You can see it's too short. So we're gonna go ahead and unloosen it. Still has to be more, maybe right there. So let's go ahead and put the washers back in. At least on that side. Oh, as you can actually see, it's too short. So let me go ahead and turn it some more. Alright guys, so we got it fitted on. As you can see, it's lined up. This bolt is lined up. This one's lined up. And you just want to make sure that the nut isn't like at the bolt, because you could put the bolt on but it could be crooked. You just want to make sure it's straight on. So what we're gonna do now that we have it lined up and setted, we're going to loosen this nut and this nut, and we're gonna put blue thread locker and just hand tighten it down. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy. On LMUTV it says about 10 foot-pounds, so just hand tight will be good enough, and the blue thread locker will be good just to make sure, since it's not being too tight. So let's go ahead and do that. All right guys, you can see, so now I'm just gonna put it back on, and then now we just tighten it up. I'm gonna use an adjustable wrench since I don't have, I think, a 19 millimeter, and then I'm gonna use a 15 millimeter. I'm gonna hold it right here, and then I'm gonna just tighten it up, and we'll be good for right here. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. So we got, I went there and the other side, same step, blue thread locker, as you can see, blue thread locker on this side. Now this side is done. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to get the right side, the top one, and just pretty much do the same thing since we already have the top one on the Canam. The stock ones are the same. So let's just go ahead and do the top one, and then make sure you guys take your time adjusting them. And yeah, I'll get back to you guys when the top one is done. So we finished up. So now we're going to put the first top one on. So what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna use the washers. It came with them, but the zip tied, because they're not that tight. So just go ahead, put them on. This one over too. And then you just wanna go ahead, put it on the bolt. Just like that. And then all you wanna do is you're gonna get the top nut, or the top bolt, and then pretty much it. Just get it, and then we have to move the hub and everything. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait. Since we're using that bolt right now, we're gonna wait, adjust the middle ones, adjust both middle ones, and then the bottom ones are not adjustable. So as you can see, the bottom ones are not adjustable, and the middle ones, they're only adjustable on the wheel side. So like I said, you guys, it says driver side, and then obviously it's gonna go on the driver front hand side or rear side. So it's gonna be sitting like that pretty much. It's gonna be in the chassis, so it's gonna be on the hub. So let's go ahead, adjust this one with the middle one, which is this one right here. And we're gonna do that for that one. And then we could set it all in the car, and it'll be a lot faster to put on. We went ahead and got top and middle one on, the bolts in, but not secured, just in. And then now we're just gonna take off the top, or the bottom one, and put the bottom one on. It's not adjustable, so it'll be easy, quick. And let's go ahead and do that. I got the bottom one on. You can tell the big difference. Now, what we're gonna do, pretty much just do the same thing, but just on the other side. So take off the top bolt, put that one in, the middle bolt, put that one in, and then the bottom bolt. And yeah, after that, I'll show you guys what's the next step. We got all 6 in. As you can see, a lot beefier, and they stand out a lot more because they are machine finish. I could have got black. LMU TV has black, orange, blue, all kinds of different options, but I just went ahead with machine because that's the theme I'm gonna be going for, is like black and like a chrome kind of theme. So now that we got all 6 in, I did forget to put the washers in for the middle ones, since there was a washer that goes in between the radius rod and the hub and in the bolt in the washer. So let's go ahead and do that. And then after that, it's pretty much putting on the radius rod plate. And that's gonna be a little bit hard, but we'll get to it when we get to it, guys. So let's put on the washers first. Washers on where the hub and the radius rod is, in between right there. So now we're gonna be putting the bolts on the back side of, or the nuts on the back side of the bolts. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put blue thread locker on all 6 nuts, just to be extra safe, since these are like part of the suspension and you never know. So I'm gonna put in all 6, use thread locker on all 6, blue thread locker. So let me do that and I'll get back to you guys when I'm done with doing that. Now that we got all the nuts on with blue thread locker, we're gonna go ahead and take off all these ones I put back on. And then we're gonna get the pull plate and line it all up, and I'll show you guys right now. Guys, I do recommend getting a dead blow hammer. So as you can see, we got pretty much all of them in. The top ones we got in, the middle ones are a little bit in, and then the bottoms, there's only one that's in, but this one's about to be in. So what we should happen is we could put one in the top, or actually we could bring the one in this one on the bottom right, bring it in with the impact just enough, and this one should pop in, and then the middle one as well. So let me show you guys what I mean. So just like that, we got more threads in, and that should be just enough to put the bolts on, or the nuts on, and to tighten them up. So let's go ahead and put the rest of them on, guys. And just like that, we got all the nuts in and tight. And then so next thing we're gonna do is we're going to torque them down to spec, or a little bit over spec is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna torque them down to 80 foot-pounds. They usually torque down to about 77. I'll put a picture right here. And that's for both the radius rod plate bolts, nuts, and the 3 on each side. So I'm gonna torque each one down to 80 foot-pounds, but I'm gonna be doing it in a cross pattern for the plate. So I'm gonna do top left, bottom right, top right, bottom left, and then top left, top right, or middle left, middle right. And then these ones won't matter because they're individual, but it's because this one's in a plate, just like a wheel. So let me go ahead and torque them down to 80 foot-pounds each is what I'm gonna do, and I'll get back to you guys. Like that, they're all torqued down to 80 foot-pounds, all 3 on this side, all 6 on that, and all 3 on those side. Alright guys, this is the reason I'm getting new ones. As you can tell, this one's supposed to be straight. Definitely not. This one's supposed to be straight as well. Another reason I upgrade. These things will probably most likely never break unless you do something crazy to them. Guys, I almost forgot one more thing. After you torque them down, you want to use a paint checker to make sure that the bolts do not move. I'm gonna use it's called Revlock Sure Check, and it's just easier because it has a needle, so it's easier to check them. So all you want to do is you want to get the bolt, and go ahead and focus it up. Get the bolt and the nut, and you just put it on, and just like that. And what this will do is it will make sure that if it ever comes loose, it will, since it's paint, it will crack and you will be able to tell. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that for all of them. Put a nice thick layer on, and then you just let it dry. Boom. Do this one down here. Guys, just like that. A little crooked on that one, but it's all right. As long as you got it on. So what will happen is, once the paint dries fully, before taking it out or riding around, make sure it dries fully. And if these nuts come loosen for any reason at all, the paint will obviously be cracked. And since I have them all up and down, and I see this nut in the top one is like on the left, you obviously know that it's come unloosened and I need to torque it down again. You can do it for these ones. I probably will, just to be safe. And after that, just put the rear wheels on and put it on the ground, and that's pretty much it. There you go, guys. That's what it looks like, all finished and done. Definitely worth it. Definitely the best like mod to do when you first buy these things, and they will not break on you, that's for sure. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching. More mods to come for the Canam. See you.